Okay, first thing in your journal, inside of your inference head, you're always going to write your evidence. So what I'm going to do is, for right now, since we haven't read our story yet, we're just going to write evidence. This is just so you know what to do whenever you're working on your own, okay? So after you read a book and you make your inference, an inference is what?
A prediction.
A prediction or a guess based on what you've read. So after you read, you're going to tell me guesses that you can make, but you have to have text evidence. You have to tell me why. So around on the outside, this is where we put our inferences. In the video, I infer that the birds want the food. Why? Because they were hungry. So that's what you would put on the outside, and on the inside, you would put what they were doing. How did you know that they were hungry?
They were trying to get food.
They were pointing at the food. You could see they were getting tired, right? When you don't eat, you get tired. You could see their eyes closing. Okay, so today we are going to read The Paper Bag Princess. I will put the pictures under here for you. After, so we can make our predictions and make our inferences. Okay, so let's look at the cover. What do we think The Paper Bag Princess is going to be about? Why is it called Paper Bag Princess?
She's made out of paper.
She's made out of a paper bag. Okay, what she's wearing, her clothes are made out of a paper bag. So that's an inference we can make. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. What can we infer?
He seems selfish.
He seems selfish. Why?
Because how he's standing and how he looks.
How does she look at him?
Like she loves
Like she's in love. What about Ronald?
He doesn't look so much.
He doesn't. So let's turn to the next page of our journal. He does. His face doesn't look happy towards her, right? For someone to be in love.
He acts like he doesn't want to marry her.
He acts like he doesn't want to marry her. So what we're going to do is we're going to make something called a T-chart to record our thoughts. So on one side, we are going to write our inference, and on the other side, our evidence.
Can we use like a marker?
Yeah, you can use whatever you have. So inference on one side of your T-chart, evidence on the other.
I didn't bring a drink. I don't know why.
You can go get one here at the break. Okay, so our inference, we said what? How does Ronald look?
He looks like
Ronald looks like he doesn't care.
he's selfish. Really selfish.
Ronald looks like he doesn't care. What evidence do we have from the text or the picture? He looks what? He looks mad. What'd you say, Angel? He looks like he's ignoring her.
Well, there he is.
So on our T-chart so far, oh, I can't flip it around. Just kidding. Okay, so on our T-chart so far, we have that Ronald looks like he doesn't care, and we know that because he looks like he's ignoring her. His back is to her. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle. burned all of her clothes with his fiery breath. And he carried off Prince Ronald. So before, she was beautiful, right? You can tell from the picture that she's beautiful. But now, let's look at her. Her hair's burnt. She's dirty from the dragon breathing fire. She takes the love of her life away. So how do we think she feels now? What inference can we make?
She feels worthless.
Okay. She might be sad. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forest and horse's bones. So let's look at this. Here she is with her paper bag. What does her face look like? So Elizabeth is mad. What is our evidence going to be? How do we know that she's mad right now? Her face. Her face is angry. Y'all can look at my journal in a little bit if I'm going too fast. You can copy it off mine. Like if y'all just want to watch.
Can I call her like Liz? Cause my
Yeah, perfect. Liz is great. That is perfect. Okay. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. So that picture is the same as our cover. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait," Elizabeth shouted. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. So what do we think she's trying to do? Why could she be bribing him? Elizabeth is bribing the dragon. Oops. And our evidence is she wants Ronald back. Mm-hmm. So Elizabeth is bribing, I didn't spell that right, so I fixed it. So Elizabeth is bribing the dragon. Our evidence is that she wants Ronald back. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge, deep breath, and he breathed out so much fire that he burned up 50 forests. So what is she trying to do?
Oh my goodness. Bribe him. And then
Fantastic, said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests.
Oh my goodness.
Magnificent, said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. So now that's all he had. What did she make him do?
Lose all of his fire.
She made him use all of his fire.
So he can do anything, right? He can still eat her. Just pick her up by her feet.
So Elizabeth made him use all his fire. Why do we think, why would she make him use all his fire? So what? So maybe so he won't get her, right? In our evidence, how do we know that she made him?
Because he couldn't be. Because she kept saying.
He had no fire left. After showing off. So now he has no fire. He was trying to burn down as many forests as he could, and he kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it
Until he ran out of fire.
until he ran out. Now there's nothing left. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again."
He's gonna make him tired.
So the dragon jumped and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was so tired, he was too tired to talk, and he laid down and went straight to sleep.
She made him tired.
She made him tired.
She can go to the castle and get
Okay, so our inference is she made him tired. And we know that because he's taking a nap now. She made him tired. Evidence is he went to sleep.
Is that all the story?
Awesome. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted and yelled as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired that he didn't even move. Who's up at the top? Her Prince Ronald. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes. Your hair is all tangled, and you are wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess."
Oh, he is so mean. He's being rude. I put him in the dragon's body.
Now what do we think?
He's being so rude. He's so mean.
What did she just do for him?
And now he's gonna be ruder.
"Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a bum." They didn't get married after all. So let's make one more inference. What do we think happened to her?
She
She did leave him.
realized She didn't need him.
She realized that she didn't need him. So usually, what do they say at the end? She lived happily ever after. So our inference is that she left him and lived happily ever after. So what do we think? What do we think about Ronald?
He's mean.
He's not very nice. What about the Princess Elizabeth?
She's nice.
She is nice.
Oh, wouldn't marry him.
Yes, she saved him. She could have just left him and not chased him and not gone on through all the trouble with the dragon, but she did. She did it for him. So our evidence is at the end of the story, she ran off alone. Okay, so remember, we are supposed to define inference. So what is an inference? Somebody raise your hand and tell me. What is an inference?
Like an estimated guess.
A guess. A guess based on what? The story that you're reading. So no matter what you're reading, even if you're not reading and it's a movie that you're watching, you can always make a guess about what's going to happen next. So on your part today, you are going to read. I have two choices for you. You're going to make a T-chart the same way we just did together, but now you're going to show me what you know on your own. Okay? So go ahead and make your chart. No, you're going to do it. You can choose Beauty and the Beast, or you can choose a story called Carter's Holler. It is totally your choice which one that you do. Okay?
What's Carter's Holler about?
Carter's Holler is about... I can't remember. Let me see.
I can't.
I think it's about a boy that they live like way off.
What do you mean way off?
Like they don't live in a town, they live like in the woods somewhere. And then Beauty and the Beast, we all know that story. So by the time you leave today, you can choose whichever story you'd like to read. I have copies of both. And then you will fill out your inference and evidence chart.